It's time for Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Stay tuned for conversation and information from her special guest. Now sit back and relax and enjoy Real Talk with Cindy Barber.
Good evening and welcome to Real Talk with Cindy. Please tag and share and let others know that we're on. We're on right now and my guests are here. So please tag and share and let others know we're on. See, my sister is here from Connecticut, East Hartford, Connecticut. Welcome. Let me know the city, state, or country where you're joining me from. Hope everyone has had an amazing weekend. It's good to see you. I see you coming on. Also, if you would like to advertise an event on Real Talk, please send it to my email, ms.cindybarber@gmail.com, or you can inbox me. Also, I need you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Real Talk TV with Cindy. And if you'd like to be a blessing to Real Talk, I have 3 ways which you can give. It's Cash App, $ Cindy's Keys, paypal.me/Cindy Barber, or Zelle, ms.cindybarber@gmail.com. Please tag and share. Please tag and share and let others know that we're on. We are here. I'm going to tag some people right now. It's good to see you coming on. Those that are joining from YouTube channel, welcome. Welcome, welcome. God bless you. God bless you. I see you coming on. Please let me know the city or state where you're joining us from. I see you coming on. Also, if you are celebrating a birthday this month, the month of June will be over pretty soon, or you're celebrating a wedding anniversary, please type it in the comments so I can announce it. If you are celebrating your birthday for the month in the month of June or your wedding anniversary, please type it in the comments. I look forward to announcing it. Please type it in the comments. God bless you. I see you coming on. I'll give you a few more minutes. Please tag someone, 5 people, 6 people, 3 people. Let them know we're on. I see you coming on. I see you coming on. Good evening, James from Ghana, West Africa. God bless you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us from West Africa. God bless you. Yes. I see you coming on. We're going to get started. Amen. God bless you. Good evening to my very special guest that's here tonight. Good evening, good evening. The
Good
Jenkins.
evening.
Good evening. Good evening, sis. Good to be with you.
It's
Thanks
good
for
to have
having
you
us.
with me on tonight. God bless you. So excited to have you. And I look forward to this discussion on tonight. You guys, when I met you, you have been doing music for a long time. And it was a few years ago. And I'm sure, I don't know, we'll talk about what you're doing now. But let's get started with your music journey. When did it begin? So I don't know who wants to go first. The
Oh, go
oldest?
ahead.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll let him. I'll let him go. He can start since I'm the better looking one. He can start.
whatever you need to make you happy, that's fine. Well, we
Okay.
actually started as young kids. First of all, thank you so much for having us, Sis Barber.
Oh, you're
It's an honor to
welcome.
be a part of this, and I think it's worthwhile. And people need to see and hear what you're doing. This is so great.
Thank
But we, as the Jenkins brothers, started very young. We started as probably like around 5 and 7. And my
you.
mom saw the gift in us and decided to enroll us in different opportunities to
Mm.
kind of nurture what we had, and started buying us instruments and so forth. And we were making up songs and so forth, to the extent that as we got older, we had completed several albums by the age of 13. And when we
Wow.
signed with Savoy Records with Milton Bingham, we had all our songs lined up. You know, he had brought in some producers and writers, and we said, "Well, we have some songs that we've written. You want to listen to them?" And pretty much every song on the album, our first album, was composed by us. Well, except for
Hmm.
2. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, we started at a very early age and loved the passion of music. And as a result,
Yeah.
stayed away from some things. This is
Hmm.
why our music school now, we push music in the industry, especially in the school system, because we knew the impact it had on us and how it kept us focused and
Yeah.
kept us away from some things that were kind of
Hmm.
detrimental back in those days, like getting drunk, hanging out, and all that. We were so in
Yeah.
tune with our music
Hmm.
that it just kept us focused. And so we knew it was a powerful instrument, and we used it to our advantage.
And also my mom and bringing us up. My brother said we started singing at a very young age, but professionally we started when I was, I think, 11 and he was 13.
Hmm.
And that's when we started professionally with the great jazz musician Ernie Scott. We was a part of his singers called the Ernie Scott Singers, which was
Right.
eventually turned over to First Class. And so
Hmm.
grew up on off Broadway stuff and doing a lot of that stuff as actors and singers and stuff
Wow.
like growing up in New Brunswick with productions like ABB Productions and
Hmm.
stuff like that. And so we were very, very involved kids that did a lot of stuff in our hometown, New Brunswick. So when we were
Right.
able to do some other things outside of our hometown, and people
Hmm.
appreciated that, we knew that we had a little something when we went to other cities and in states, and we got the same response as though we were at home. So we was like, oh, we might have a little something, you know what I mean?
Right.
And our career kicked off when we won McDonald's Gospel Fest in 1986.
Yeah.
And that's when
Right.
we got the recording contract with Savoy Records and Milton Bingham. And then it sprung forth after
Wow.
that.
How
Yeah.
long were you signed with Savoy?
I think it was 2 years, 3 years, I believe it was.
Okay.
3 years. And then
Yeah.
we went to GTS
Hmm.
Records. And then
Hmm.
from there, we continued just doing what we do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a
Hmm.
lot of people don't know, the younger people don't really know about a lot of major record labels, especially in gospel, that
Hmm.
really launched a lot of people. Savoy
Oh yeah.
launched a
Oh,
lot of people.
Yeah.
I
Savoy
mean,
Malaco. Yeah. Yeah. A
hmm.
lot of people. They launched
Hmm.
people, everybody. If you were really something, especially when it came down to traditional music,
Hmm.
from James Cleveland to the Caribbean, you name it, everybody kind of came through Savoy Records. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And
Yes.
they would. I talk to my daughters now till the day, and she was like, because they don't know what an album is. They don't know what a vinyl is. They don't know
No.
what a cassette
Right.
tape is. They
Not a
don't know
clue.
none. They don't know none of that stuff. And then when it's
Hmm.
funny, when I show them the album, they was like, "What is this?" I said, "It's
Hmm.
actually it's a record." They was like, "What's a record?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "Oh
Right.
my god!" But no, it would that back then when you got a record and it was with a major, you did
Uh-huh.
okay. You know what I mean? And thank God for
Yeah.
Savoy people, because when we won the competition, it was just for one session. But when Milton Bingham
Oh, okay.
heard what we had, he just wanted to sign us to a whole album deal and a couple of album deals. Yeah, so that was a blessing. Yep.
And y'all were so young to get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It
You
was
know,
all good.
It's funny. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's funny because at age 13, 11, we were singing in nightclubs, believe it or not.
Right. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It
My
was
mother
kinda
never knew.
It was strange. And when we say nightclubs, we're not talking about, like it is today, but it was like really calm and just a place, an atmosphere where people were able to come and demonstrate their gifts and so forth. And Ernie Scott was really in tune with that arena. So we were safe and all that. And we just loved singing.
And it was like it was more jazz clubs,
right?
You know what I mean? Like so, the nightclubs, the jazz, the Travelodge, the and stuff like that, where grown folks came and listened to like stuff like MacArthur's Park is Melting in the Dark, and all those old Barbara Streisand, Neil Diamond songs. You know what I mean? So we grew up. Yeah, we grew up like dark, but like kind of white.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Now, do you have any other siblings and do they sing?
Well, we have two sisters.
Oh. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Now we have two siblings. My older sister, she was a background singer. But she does, she sung alto, but she didn't really sing. But my younger sister, who passed away, Carolyn Jenkins Panetta, she passed away some years ago, but she was one of our singers and our administrator. She was like the glue to keeping me and my brother, us going to Jenkins Brothers and all that. She was a for real singer, and so she was a for real singer. But my other sister, she just did background and she was happy with that, so it was all good.
Right. Now, what artist inspired you to sing? Was there an artist or two, or who really inspired you?
Ooh,
we had a number of artists. Darryl Coley was one of my favorites, because of his voice quality, his anointing, his approach, his range, and how he just massaged songs and how he was patient with songs. And we go as far as Luther Vandross, and we're more to the balladeer type of. So when we heard that kind of music, it kind of gave us a focus of what we wanted to do with our own vocal anatomy.
And like when it came down to groups, of course it was the Winans and Commission and Timothy Wright. When it come down to choirs, Timothy Wright, Georgia Mass, all that stuff. But far as artists concerned, we grew up old school. We grew up old school, and but like my brother said, like those artists that you really appreciated their voice was the Darryl Coleys. You know what I mean? Because we were bred how to sing and not just sound good. So we understood the anatomy and the theory about singing. And when we opened our music school, so when we heard artists who like the Luthers and all those people who knew how to control their voice, and the Vanessa Bell Armstrongs, and that really just told their voice to do whatever you wanted to do and it followed. Those were the people that really kind of inspired us. But the Winans, they were the Winans, and Commission was Commission, and those groups like that. We really were fond over those groups.
Wow. Because I'm hearing you talk about your school. So let's talk about that. You all have a music school.
Yep, we have a music school. When my brother runs it now, once I started the church, I kind of backed up out of it. So he he can talk more about that than I can.
We started 25 years ago with the music school, somewhere around there. And it was Jenkins Brothers Music Development Center. We had the opportunity to train some of the most amazing singers, from people you see on when back in the day was Star Search and stuff like that. But nowadays, like in American Idol and stuff like that. I train a lot of the clients now who are like on The Voice and American Idols. Now I just train exclusively now. It's not the music school, but the music school is what got us to where we were. We had thousands of people come through the music school where we specialize in vocal training, piano, drums, anything musically. We specialize in that, and it was just a major success. And they were, like my brother said, when he started the ministry, where our office building was and behind where the ministry was, we turned that into like the daycare and the office buildings. And I just kept, continue to teach exclusively. And so that's what I'm doing now. It's really teaching exclusively. So
you just teaching vocal or voice?
Yes. Me and my brother, that's all we ever taught was vocals. Other stuff was taught by other instructors. You know what I mean? We play piano and all that, but I don't play enough to to teach people,
Right.
because you learn from me, you'll learn in two keys. You know, but we had people to kind of take that over and do what they do. You know what I'm saying? But it was a
Yeah,
beautiful thing, and the
it
music school
is.
got us to where we are today was based on our
Hmm.
music school. The ministry and
Right.
everything was based out of the music school.
Wow. Now, do you have how is it since we've had, with COVID, how have you been able to, you've been doing it online, your music school?
Well, actually, I had did it on. I actually when COVID hit, it was just so crazy to where I just stepped back because the way I teach, it was more so
Hmm.
hands on. I've learned to now
Yes.
do things online and do like certain courses online and different things. But a lot of
Hmm.
my teachers is on hands on to because trying to do real time with people singing, it's everything's delayed. you
Yeah.
know. But now
Hmm.
I'm putting a program together where I can do online teaching. But right now, what I'm doing now is more so in-person teaching. But when COVID hit, it was like, oh my God,
I know. Yeah.
it was, as you know, it was something, man. It
Yeah.
affected a lot of stuff. But at the same
Hmm.
time, it opened our eyes to see things differently. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
helped us. You
Yeah.
know. But yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Now, Bishop, let's talk about the church. When did you
Mhm.
begin your church, and let people know where it's located?
We started church in 96.
Hmm.
Hmm.
96, and we started 15 people. And like my brother said, the church was birthed out of the music school. Well, it was birthed out of music school, and then out of the the church came the daycare. But the church started in 96 with about 15 of us, and that we had a
Hmm.
building about 30,000 square feet. And so
Wow.
we're able to use all of our components, the daycare, the music school,
Hmm.
and the church in one building. And
Hmm.
from there, we began to grow. We started our service at 4 o'clock. That way we had everybody able to come and participate. We had musicians to come that would play in their morning service and come to us in
Right.
afternoon service. And so
Hmm.
it was very, very effective.
Hmm.
We ended up growing and growing and growing until we got to a point where we moved to 11 o'clock, and it kept
Wow.
growing. And now it's 26 years later, and we're still there.
Wow.
And of course,
Hmm.
because of COVID, things have changed a lot. Things have
Hmm.
really changed. So we made our adjustments more so online, building our online ministry and so forth. But
Hmm.
we're still there. Our first and third Sundays
Okay.
at 2630 South Broad Street, Hamilton, New Jersey. We on
Hmm.
every single Sunday online, but first and third is when we come and have
In
fellowship
person.
In
Yeah.
person, yes.
in person.
Yes. That's good. That's good. And Carl, you serve as a minister of music. Are you still doing that?
Yes, at music,
Okay.
Ministry of Music there. So we're still rolling in that. Like Bishop said, so many things has changed, and
Yes.
people's lives are different. You know what I mean? But
Yes.
still, the quality of worship is still there. The quality of
Hmm.
singing. We don't do a whole lot of. We don't do the choir thing no more because
Right.
of because we had to make the adjustments. But we're slowly
Yeah.
getting back to that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, but
Hmm.
everything's going well. The spirit, the power, the vibe, everything is still there. So, like Bishop said, on first and third Sundays, we're there in person, and
Hmm.
all the rest of the Sunday, from first to the fourth Sunday, we're everything's always online. So they can
Right.
always catch us
Yeah.
online, and you know what I mean. Yep, yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, how important is it for the minister of music to work closely with the pastor?
Oh, it's essential. I call it. I call
Hmm.
it the pop and mom thing. Pop is the pastor of the church. Mom is the minister of music.
Yeah.
So as a relationship, that has to be a core, because
Hmm.
I have to follow the minister of music. Have to follow the vision of the leader,
That's
so
right.
that the cohesiveness can work together, and that
Yeah.
the flow and the atmosphere, and it's not just God but people,
Hmm.
because we serve God, but it's the people who come to hear us see God through what we do. And so
Yeah.
if there's discourse between the pastor and the minister of music, and there's no
Hmm.
type of relationship or no type of cohesiveness, there's nothing to be done spiritually as
Yeah.
effective as it could be. You know what I mean? So I think that is very, very important. Did a lot of seminars to let ministers of music and pastors know you got to have a great relationship. It just can't be about pay this guy and it's over. Not a real true minister of music.
Right.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Because I find like in the church now, the musicians just want to play, and they don't. Most of them don't want to serve as a minister of music. But then you have pastors that are so eager to have that name, to say I have a minister of music at my church, so they'll appoint them that, and they're really not. They're just a musician.
Right. Wow.
So, Bishop Earl, what do you say to other pastors that that's dealing with that and having that working relationship with the minister of music?
I think what pastors need to understand is when there are different categories that musicians approach churches with. And I think we need to be mindful of that, because there's some, we were taught we just serve. You came and served. But since things have changed, it becomes an opportunity for minister of music to make, to make a living. And so because our mentality is always serving, when they come with an agenda to say, this is what I need. If you need me here for 2 and 3 services, I can't focus on a job and do this, because things have changed. We too have to modify our thinking to know that if we're going to bring somebody of quality to enhance what we have, they too need to be compensated in that way, and not just see it the way we were raised. Come serve, serve. Everybody has to give and take a little bit. And I think the pastors need to make that adjustment. And a lot of musicians, it's not that they don't want to, they can't. They can't afford to, some of them working 2 and 3 jobs now. So you want me to lose my 2 jobs and work the 1, then you got to compensate me for them 2 I'm losing to be there at the church. So everybody has to give and take in this season. There was a season when we didn't have to do it this way, but now because of COVID, my philosophy is this is just me. I believe whenever God shuts down the world, as he did with Noah, and bring the church in the ark to rethink some things, when we come out that ark, we got to come out differently than we went in. If we come out trying to do the same thing, it's not going to work. God shut the world down for a reason. And judgment in the house of God, and how people are going to receive God is based on how we come out that ark and demonstrate God being different. Behold, I will do a new thing. I will, meaning I want to, but it's up to you. Allow me to do it. So we got to go to church. We got to see church a little differently. This is why we changed our way of doing church. We were so involved in in-house that we wasn't as focused on the outhouse. But now we're more out. We come on first Sunday as fellowship for communion. Third Sunday we go out. We bring people in. We feed them on Saturday. We bring them in on Sunday for fellowship. And so third Sunday is our fellowship service. And then second, we give them time to spend time with their families and still go online. So we kind of broke it up. Because even though we see church the way we used to see it is different. And a lot of people don't want to show the difference in them that has happened to them. But I said, I don't want to go to church every Sunday. And sometimes if we don't give them the opportunity to not only say it, but do it, then they're going to start dwelling away. Because they don't want to hurt the pastor, they don't want to hurt the church, so they just keep backing up. If we say, listen, all I need you to do is come on first and third. Can y'all do it for me? Yeah, we'll do that. You got 2 Sundays where you can spend time with the family, and then have a little service, hour and a half on Sunday morning, and then you got the whole Sunday. So we were able to come out differently than when we went in, and that helped us, and we're doing very well with it. And it's not for every church. I'm saying for us, it's working pretty well.
Right. What about your youth ministry, young people? Have you been able to kind of connect with them a little bit better?
Well, what we've done is, and this again is just us, I believe it's time for the families to raise their kids. Yeah, I really believe that, and not depend on schools, not depend on churches, not depend on we have to raise our kids in the house. We got to give them our DNA and train them up in the way they should go. We as parents, and I believe the Lord is calling the parents, the families, to raise their children, get them around the table and watch the service like my mother do us, and my mother raised us. She taught us how to pray. She taught us how to stay in the face of God. And the church only embellished what she put in us. So we even although we do have youth ministry and that kind of thing, it's we leave that up to the parents to really initiate the process of that.
Like we'll have like certain programs and stuff that we'll do for the kids, and certain things like that. So it's not like we don't do anything for the youth, but our main thing when it comes down to the youth is making sure that their education is met. So we're really big on education and making sure that they're in college, and if they're that we have a support group that can help them get books and stuff like that and things of that caliber. And but all the other incidentals of trying to to direct them to do certain things. Like Bishop said, he's a real stickler of that. Hey, y'all, it's time for us to, start raising our kids back to how we support the kids. Need to lean on us and learn how to they lay hands on themselves. The parents lay hands instead of trying to get the bishop or the elders of the church. Put your hands on your own kids. You know what I mean? And I ain't talking about. Go ahead, Bishop.
I'm sorry. And here's the truth: they wouldn't bring them.
Yeah,
they wouldn't bring the kids to the program. They have, my mothers do Saturday school, and they wasn't bringing them. So I'm like, okay, and that could be discouraging for the teachers to come out and the parents not bringing them. So we had to make adjustments in that. So again, it's different now.
Yeah, it is totally different.
Yeah.
And you really almost have to really adjust to a new world.
Yep.
Yes.
100%.
Yep. Definitely. Now, what about the choirs versus the praise teams? I know, like you said, your choir maybe forming again. There are some that continue to sing, and there are some that are still not singing, even though their churches are back. So, what is your take on the choirs with the praise teams, or with the praise teams replacing choirs?
Well, I look at it as long as the job get done. You know what I mean? I don't. I look at it as far as, is it a choir? Is it a praise team? If it's one person, the key thing is getting people in the presence of God. You know what I mean? I've learned that through my experience, I've learned that choirs are a little different because you're dealing with so many different people and so many different attitudes, so many different problems, so many different scenarios. So you gotta muster all that in. I'm a stickler of worship being more pure, meaning that the distractions, try to stay away from as many distractions as possible, because you're the first line of defense when the people come in. So you gotta, and it's not that we're trying to show them or put, but you should come to church with God with you anyway. You know what I mean? All we're doing is setting the atmosphere. But I believe, but if to answer your question, choirs, like with me right now, it's really just me. You know what I mean? And then I add my singer sometime, and then I add just different things to kind of break it up, because I understand what the millennials are dealing with now, what our age group, what my mother and them is dealing with. Once in a while, I'll just bring old school devotion feel, you know what I mean? To, take them back, but at the same time, just kind of balance it out. Because, growing up in our era, you got to know how to kind of balance everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I ain't trying to hate on people, because a lot of worship people, and I'm all with the whole Hosanna move and the, and the CCM and the jumping around, bouncing around, and everybody's doing everything and flying through the air and all that. That's all good, But sometimes you just got to hit that hymn. You know what I mean? And just take us in, because and so so my thing is always, as long as there's a balance in the music, to whereas everybody can be appreciated, as opposed to just dealing, because a lot of these kids nowadays with these millennials don't know what a hymn even sound like.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And it's so sad, because that's what got us to where we are today. You know what I mean? So, so I believe in just uplifting everybody and just making sure everything is balanced musically, that everybody can walk out there happy.
Yeah, and it should be like that. But like you said, there's a lot of young people that don't, and even some older people that didn't grow up in the church. They don't know anything about it.
Right.
100%. They don't know it. And traditional singing, a lot of them don't know anything about it.
Right. Not at all.
That's true.
Not at all. That's the truth. That's the truth. That is the truth. Somebody said, what is POP, and POP stand for, and what MOM? POP stands for Pastor of the People, and MOM stands for Minister of Music.
Right.
That's my philosophy. Pastor of the People, Minister of Music.
Right. Definitely.
So somebody asked the question, so I wanted to answer that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. That was good. But you do have to have a variety. Because I know there's some churches where all they sing, but they have older people in the congregation, but they sing all traditional.
Right.
Like all on the CCM, and some of them, they can't even understand what your words are.
Right.
Don't have
so true. That's the
words
truth.
on there, but you have to be open to know your audience.
Right. 100%. Right. I agree 100%. Yep, and you got to know what your lane is in the ministry. You know what I mean? Right. And who you, and how effective you are at what you do. You know what I mean? We can't do what other churches do. We just do what we do well, and
That's
and
right.
just stick with it. You know what I mean? As opposed to trying to be, we're not TD Jakes in them church. We're not George C. Wright Church or Bitcher Hill. We're not that
Right.
church. Where
Mm-hmm.
you got to know your environment, what your people do, what they like, their style,
That's
and
right.
and just kind of roll with that, and don't try to be everything and become nothing.
Right.
So
You
so
can't.
yeah.
You really can. This is so good. Now let's talk about. I know you guys have done plays down through the years, so let's talk about some of the plays. I know one was Prodigal Son and Jesus is Coming to Dinner. Who wrote these plays?
I, I write I write all the plays and productions. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like I said,
Wow.
my brother and I, we grew up on off Broadway and stuff like that. So we were at we did a lot of stuff at Crossroads Theater, George Street Playhouse, all the theaters. We were blessed to be a part of some of the most amazing actors and singers. So our whole life was production. So
Yeah.
in writing plays and stuff like that, oh my God, we were doing that since I was little. And so we wrote some plays like the play Jesus is Coming to Dinner. That play was written as a comedy about Jesus coming to dinner, but how Jesus came to dinner, he came through people. The play was designed that Jesus came through people, everyday people. So if a bum came to the house and knocked on the door, and the family turned them away because Jesus was coming to the dinner, somebody, a car broke down, needed help,
Yeah.
but they turned them away because Jesus was coming to dinner. Very successful family. And so at the end of the play, the whole production was presented to whereas Jesus said, "What you did to the least of them, you've done also to me." You know what I see? So that's what but it was done in a comedy sense. And so it was written as a comedy. And the Prodigal Son, that was written. Those are like the early plays. And then I did a production called it was Peter Remembered, and that was the life and then After the Cross. And Peter Remembered was the story Peter telling of the crucifixion, what he remembered about Jesus. And then After the Cross was written to show people what happened in those 3 days when Jesus was in the grave. You know what I mean? What took place between, the devil and Gavin took the keys and the sting and the victory and all that, with the battle that happened in those 3 days in the grave. You know what I mean? So,
Are
but
you
it was.
still writing? Are you guys still doing plays? Are you still, or you just kind of stopped it?
Well, actually, we renovated our church. I mean, we put a lot of money, the new lights, new sound, brought the stage out, the whole 9 yards. We was ready to go, had contracts and stuff ready. My brother had some plays ready to go, and COVID hit. I mean, we were ready to go in March. COVID hit in March. I mean, literally. I mean, that was it. And so,
as Bishop said, we wrote a production called The Balance of Love, the musical journey. So that was the thing that hit before COVID, and we had got contracts over at in Atlantic City at Harris, and we had started running the show, and it was a sellout every time, and so it had got real legs, and Broadway took a look at it, and they fell in love with it. So we were working out deals there. We were working out a deal over in Vegas, the whole nine, and then COVID hit. So. So we're going to really get that back up and running. Probably the first show for The Balance of Love will probably go September, October, that we're going to start it back up. We just wanted to because we tried to do it again and then put all that money out and then shut everything down again. And we're like, absolutely not. I ain't got no long money. My money real short. I have real small infant money, so we can't be putting money out like that. And so the thing about it, so the thing about it was, we were like, oh no, until this thing is under control, that's what we'll do. So we're looking at September, October to have The Balance of Love come back out. So it's a real powerful play.
This pastor is asking, where can they find your work? Pastor Thompson is asking that question.
Work and meaning like to seeing some of the services or the plays and productions like that. You can, if that's the case, a lot of times you look up the Jenkins brothers, you'll see a lot of stuff on YouTube that we've done with the Church True Servant. You'll see some of the stuff that we've done. You'll see like clips. I don't have like major like you can see a whole play or anything, but if you can follow some of the clips and see some of the productions that we done with Balance of Love and all that stuff like that. If you just kind of look up and Google the Jenkins Brothers or Google True Love Center or stuff like that, they can see some of the work from that point. Or they can go on the website. I don't know if the website have stuff on it. Do it, Earl?
No.
No, I don't think the website have stuff on it. They can look up the church or look up my brothers or look at our Facebook page. It's called Jenkins, Earl Jenkins, and see some of the work we did with that as well.
Yeah, but when you're coming out with a new play or something, give me a flyer and I can advertise it here. I can definitely
appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Now,
yes,
Bishop, you've written some books. And let's talk about the books that you've written.
Well, the first book I wrote was Don't Hate Your Enemies, Just Step on Them. Of course, that doesn't mean to step on people that disregard you or what have you. I remember a lady at the gym got my book, and she said she was so excited to get this book because finally she can get back at her husband who left her, and so she can get to step on him without any guilt. I said, and she said when she read it, she realized, wait a minute, it was not that. It was pretty much using the opposition as a stepping stone to put things in perspective, because now she's happily married. She said, because of what happened in the past, she understood now, that it was for her benefit. So the book was basically that, using opposition as a stepping stone as opposed to something as like a stumbling block, but a block to step on. It was it did very well. And then my last book was Open Face Sandwich. Pretty much that was on the art of communication, how to communicate without trying to create this sandwich. We say something nice, then hit the meat inside, then we say something, and get to the. So what I did was we taken the top layer off, and what I mean by that is people want to hear the meat, but they want to hear in a way that it is received with the sensitivity, but don't circumvent the meat. Give it to me. I ain't got time. You to play. I already know where you're going with this kind of thing. So it was that. So it took good books, and it did pretty well. You did pretty good.
That's good. That's really good. Now they're on Amazon.
Yep. Amazon.
Okay. Yeah. So if anyone like to get them, just go to Amazon. The Amazon has some of everything. But as we close, what's next for each one of you? What's next? Have you given it some thought? And because I know, Carl, you're doing comedy, so share a little bit about that and let us know what's next for each one of you.
Well, what's happening now with myself, and I sat down with my wife and I told her that I wanted to do something that was a little different and a little outside the box. Because again, we grew up in church all our lives, but I learned something about church folks. We grown, we're grown people that like to do grown people things in front of grown people and not be judged. You know what I mean? So I put together this thing that's called Grown Folks Lounge. And it's over in Medford, New Jersey. It's a thing where grown folks, I come together and I do stand-up comedy, and we have karaoke where you could come to be the star you always wanted to be, and and people come and having a good time singing. It ain't got to be Christian oriented to where it's just got to be gospel music. You come in and just do old school songs, and stuff that we just grew up with and stuff like that, and just have fun and a good time. And not be judged. So that thing is going well. I do that. It's every second Sunday. We have the show called Karaoke Night and Comedy Night over in Medford, New Jersey. Yeah. So and then I'm doing a lot of stand-up comedy, stand-up comedy over with getting invited by different places and organizations. All of my comedy is clean comedy. It's no profanity or anything like that. It's all just everyday type of laugh type of comedy thing. So that's what's happening now. My brother and I, we're also getting ready to put some stuff out musically again. So we're gearing up for that. So we're just doing some studio work now. And then once we get to the point where we think we need to let people know, but you guys getting the first on your show to let them know that we are in the process of getting some new stuff happening.
Wow, that's amazing. That's wonderful. And I like the name that you gave before your comedy.
Huh?
The name by Grown Folks.
Oh yeah, the grown folks lounge. Oh yes. Folks, when we go there, man, folks just have, when I tell you, a good time. we had some pastors, the bishops come out there. One pastor thought he was Michael Jackson. I said, no. Just go and sit down somewhere. You said, we had to get him oxygen because he said try to do some moves. I said, boo. That ain't go. But it's all about fun.
Yes.
And so so that's what it's all about. My brother got some major stuff coming up too as well.
And before he talks about it, Pastor Morgan is on here. He said hello.
How you doing,
how you doing?
Pastor, how are you, sir?
Morgan, bless you, sir. It's good to see.
You look well,
wow.
You look well.
If I had his hands, I'd cut my legs off. He looked so good. Good night. Yes, sir.
And someone else said, Brenda from Philadelphia says, sounds like fun. We need some fun right about now.
Oh yeah. If Philly, tell people that, especially in the close areas, they want to come. They definitely want to come. Sis, what I'll do, I'll send you the information with the flyer and things, and you can send it out or whatever. But it's you come there and and we're just having fun. That's what it boils down to. And it's not going to just be comedy in that. My brother and I, we're going to be doing some unplugged stuff. I got some of my artist friends that's coming, and we're going to do some things, some old school things where we can just come together and just remember the times and stuff like that of how we grew up with, all them old school songs tell me that you're leaving, girl. I can't believe it's true. Just good old songs, you know what I mean? That we can sing along with, you know what I mean? And be ourselves and not make no excuses,
Yeah, send me the information for sure.
Okay, sweet. Okay, no doubt.
Now, Bishop, what are you doing? What's next?
I went back to school for fitness. I went to the National Academy of Sports Medicine. So I came out, and now I believe the Lord is targeting me towards the body of Christ, the body where the Spirit dwells. So now I'm focusing on fitness. I created or invented a device called the Ultimate Push-Up Core Bar that works the intrinsic muscle as well as resistant training. And so my goal now is to make or to afford opportunity for people, especially our color, to recognize how important the body is, And so that's my focus now. Teaching how to take care of yourself at the age of 40, 50, 60, 70, because a lot of people are dying, getting stricken with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, some things that we don't have to live with, that we can't control with moderation. You can eat whatever you want, just in moderation. So I'm coming from that perspective. We are manufacturing in the state now. We used to be in China. And the bar is here and it's ready to go, and we are focusing on. That's my new task for this new agenda. And we launched September 18th, and we're going from there. In fact, I got to go to a fitness conference tomorrow, and where is that? Florida. And then I go from there to Atlanta. So we're doing a lot of traveling with it now, and so
that's
the church
good.
is made aware of it.
Important.
Yeah,
that fitness is very important. Health-wise, we have a lot of unhealthy pastors, musicians, and people in the kingdom.
That's the truth, sis. That's the truth. That's the truth. And God, and I keep telling folks, God can't use a sick. You know what I mean? And it's a taboo that we think that we can talk about everything else, but can't talk about health. And it has nothing to do with weight. It has all to do with trying to be as healthy as possible so you can be more effective in the body of Christ. You know what I mean? So go ahead, Bishop.
I want to, those of you who are interested, corechampion.fit. If you go there, you can subscribe to that channel there, corechampion.fit, and just fill out the form there. And I'll reach back out to you. It's really important. I want to push this to pastors now. Listen. I've watched us. I'm a bishop in Lord's Church for 20-something. I've seen it all. No one focuses on health. The leadership training, all these different trainings, but no one introduces health. We got to incorporate that when we do our conferences. It doesn't take much. My program is called Fit in 15. Give me 15 minutes, and I can help you. Focus in on your bodies, your health. And you'll be surprised what little you do, how effective it can become. So that's my goal, to get us at the church to understand how important the body of Christ is. The body, the body where he dwells. And so that's where I'm at now. So you can reach me there.
She was saying that sounds wonderful. I know I need help with my body and my health issues. And also, this is my sister, Robin Taylor, Apostle Robin Taylor. She said, so good, we need to partner. She's a health coach. That is
wonderful.
in the body of Christ. My mandate as well. She's lost 60 something pounds, and her husband's lost 50 pounds. So they're doing good with their health business. So,
awesome. Yes,
Wow,
yes,
that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Wow.
Exercise and promoting good health is vital.
Yes.
Can I give you my number?
Yes.
For you, so she can call. That's 609 792 5390. Just give me a call. We can talk for sure. And anyone else that wants to talk about that, we can talk and set something up.
And she said, Brenda says, can you pin those sites? I'm not sure which sites. Oh, maybe she's talking about with the health when you were saying about the core champion. I think
.fit.
.net. .fit is it?
.fit. FIT.
Okay, say it again for her.
Core champion, CORE champion, CHAMPION. .fit.
Okay, I'm gonna type it in here. Yeah. You can share some more, Bishop, if you like. I'm going to type this in.
Okay. Now, pretty much it's self-explanatory. It's time for us to really focus in on our health. And the curse that people normally talk about is not some cryptic type of potion that people think just floating in the air. Pretty much it's just the way we're raised with our diets that's causing these diseases to perpetuate. And it doesn't take much. And I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you a little point. As you get older, you do less workout. People don't know that. You do less because you don't want to stress your body. Stress is stress, whether it's mentally or physically. And cortisol is what produces out of the pancreas to regulate that stress. And if it's used too much cortisol, it turns to fat if it's not used properly. So we want to try to, and what we do, we train you how to live in a way that's comfortable, and you'll see results as a result of that. You know, that's my target. When we say diet, when you talk about working out, nobody got an hour in it anymore. We have something called Fit in 15 minutes. You should be okay if you do that every other day.
Wow.
Yeah, and folks got to understand when the word diet, that's just what happens. You die doing it. You know what I mean? It's like my brother said. We've both been in this thing for years, and it's like you have to change your habits of certain things. You don't cut out. It's just a matter of understanding. Like you said, excessiveness and trying to eat everything because we Black, you know, we're going to have the collard greens, we're going to have the cornbread, we're going to have that, but it shouldn't be something of everyday eating. You know what I mean? So our diet is just more of a nutrition plan that'll just do, there are certain foods that just helps your body. And especially as we get older, you know what I mean? That helps us, you know, just live better and keep those levels down that we in a Black community deal with all the time that we don't have to deal with.
Yeah. And the thing of it is, if you know, well, I'm sure you all know, during COVID, we've lost a lot of people, a lot of musicians died because their bodies, a lot of them were not, you know, really healthy, and some maybe were, but it's been a lot of tragic losses.
Yeah,
you know, look at even
unnecessary.
Yes, so I look at some pastors, even musicians that are so overweight, they're unhealthy.
Right.
You know, we just sit and play, and then after that, you go out to eat.
Yep. Right. So you preaching, and see that's taboo, and it's taboo in the church now because people they get involved with their feelings, and we're not worried about your feelings. We're trying to save your life. You know what I mean? And so that's what it boils down to. And so if your feelings get hurt, you'll still, at least you'll be alive. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? So it's and so that's the approach. Like with the bar that my brother has out, his invention that he came out with is state of the art, you know, and it's a national, it's not something, no little bit of, you know, where it was like a little thing that no, it is the real deal thing. And it's going to be major across the world because the energy that is being picked up for investors and people that just love what they see, it's real huge. You know what I mean? So it's a major thing. And even if you can't do that, his advice that he has with what he can help you with and all that stuff,
Yeah.
it's the you can't do nothing but try to do better with if you're looking to do better with yourself.
Right. And especially when you say fit in 15. Sometimes people, because they'll say, well, I probably can do that in 15 minutes. Because most times when you go to trainers, it's like an hour and a half.
Right.
And you feel like, oh, I can't do that. But when you say something 15 minutes and make you think, well, that's a possibility. I should be able to do in 15 minutes.
Right.
And my device, you can do over 100 different exercises with it. So you do a complete body workout. And it's here now. It's out. I haven't launched it. I've been working with some gyms now, getting in the gyms and so forth. And it's a wonderful device. You can, if you go on to corechampion.net fit, rather, you'll see it and you'll see how it works. And it's been 9 years of planning and developing. So it's finally here. And it definitely works. I'm excited about this new venture.
So it's corechampion.net fit.
I'm sorry. Corechampion.fit. I had messed up.
Fit. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we put on the screen. Yeah.
Corechampion.fit.
Right. Because I agree with you where we have a lot of conferences and workshops, but nobody really talks about nutrition or about health. We're talking about leadership and other things, but a lot, even with music, they'll talk about that, but a lot of times nobody mentions. It's like it's taboo because sometimes you hear it because they know that they're not doing right.
Right.
And I don't want to come to hear that. I want something that's
right. And that thing is, you are not gonna mess up our dinner after this. Y'all ain't gonna talk to us and give us some salad. They're like, y'all gonna give us those.
Right. And there's a lot of other things that they can eat to be healthy, but
there you go.
Can't do a bunch of like the fried foods and stuff like that.
Right. And you can do them. It's just in moderation. If you learn, because listen, you talking to a guy that I've always worked out. Don't get me wrong. My brother and I, we've always worked out. But I had maxed out almost at 300 pounds.
Wow.
And and then once I got to the point where I was like, my back problems, and this was like 9, 10 years ago. And when I got to the point where I was like, oh, this is not healthy, even though I work out and all that. And when I changed my whole eating plan and good food, I'm not talking about no mess and just really good food. I kept 70 pounds off me easy. You know what I mean? Lost 70. I got down to like 210.
Really?
From 300. Yeah. And then so I maintained about 230, 235 with my walk around weight now. But yeah, it's a mindset, you know what I mean? And and if you don't know how to get to that mindset, this is what he offers and what we offer to make sure that everybody can just try to get what they got to get done.
This is good. And it's not just singing.
Oh no.
This is good. My sister Apostle Robin said, bless you, Bishop. I pray blessing, increase, and prosperity for this vision that shall be fulfilled.
Please see that prayer. Please see that. Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. So I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on tonight.
Thank you.
It was our pleasure. It was our pleasure. Yes. Anytime.
And hopefully when you start back with your plays, and then maybe, when you come back with once the fitness thing comes out, for sure, come back and visit us again at Real Talk so we can still share it. Because people watch, they may not watch it tonight, but they do watch the replays and they may have some questions. And if they do, I'll answer it to the best of my ability, or either I'll give them the email address or tell them to go on Facebook and DM you.
Awesome.
But people will watch it because they're on my YouTube channel, so they'll watch it.
Awesome.
So I want to thank you, gentlemen, so much for being here tonight. And I want to thank everyone that has joined us on tonight. And Sister Brenda said, this has definitely been a blessing tonight. Thanks for reminding me, Cindy. I've had a lot going on. Or you're quite welcome. Felicia Beverly says, enjoyed this session. Blessings to you all.
Blessing as well to you, sis.
Yeah. So I want to thank you and thank everyone that has come on and watched tonight, and those that will watch the replay for the days and the weeks and months ahead. So I want you to be encouraged and pass this on to others. Let them know to watch this. So I want to say good night to all, and you guys hold on.
Okay.
Right. God bless everyone, and have a good evening.
Thank you so very much for tuning in to Real Talk with Cindy Barber. We hope you have been informed and inspired by the conversation on this evening. You can contact Cindy Barber on Instagram at CindyRBarber04. You can email her at ms.cindybarber@gmail.com or the YouTube channel at Cindy R. Barber. You can also contact Cindy about having your event advertised on Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Cindy looks forward to you joining her next week for another informative conversation right here on Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Until then, have a great evening.